Months before the coronavirus was declared a global threat and before lockdowns and community quarantines were made, people were simply free to travel. Fortunately, at that time, I got a chance to fly aboard a new version of an A330 aircraft. What's it like to be on board one of the most modern wide-body jetliner with one of the most quiet engines and flying in one of Air Mauritius' shortest routes? Find out here on AIRLINE Travel and Airport. Kuala Lumpur International Airport Terminal 1. This is where I'm taking my midday flight to Singapore aboard a new aircraft from a carrier I've never flown before. As usual, I line up at the counter to check in for my flight, and after receiving my boarding pass, I head off to my assigned gate, passing by a breathtaking display of huge model planes this airport is known for. With my gate assigned at another terminal, I had to use an aerotrain which this airport has. Part of the aerotrain's track goes underground beneath a taxiway, with a ride between the main building and the satellite terminal taking only about 2 to 3 minutes. Upon getting there, what caught my attention was this nice in-house mini forest located in the middle of the satellite terminal. Yup, this airport has its attraction that gives travelers a feeling of relaxation with its refreshing view of nature. Nope, it's not the airport shops that caught my interest, but rather the enchanting sight and sound of rushing water from the falls that lured me here. And before I get carried away, I had to proceed to our assigned gate, where I then had a glimpse of the A330 NEO, along with Air Mauritius crew members who are boarding ahead to prepare its cabin. Not too long and it was time to board, with a growing excitement as I walked nearer and nearer towards the plane. It's my first time to fly on Air Mauritius, as well as flying aboard their new aircraft. And like in many of my flights, I can't get over this feeling of wonder and magic it gives as I got closer to the plane's door. With permission, and while there aren't any passengers on board just yet, I asked to visit the business class area to see how the section looks like. Air Mauritius has 28 luxurious lie-flat seats, installed with 15.4-inch entertainment screens in their A330-900 aircraft. And along with power outlets, noise-canceling headphones, and free in-flight Wi-Fi, Air Mauritius offers a pleasant and comfortable experience in business class, especially on long-haul flights. After my visit up front, it's a quick visit for me at the back, passing by rows of ergonomically designed seats and coach. As I reached the far end of the cabin, I found that the galley setup is pretty much the same as with previous A330 versions. Soon after, I head to my assigned seat. And nope, I'm not sitting at the back this time, but rather closer to the plane's engine to actually hear it later as it goes on full thrust. Once I've settled in my seat, I was treated to a marvelous sight of Malaysia Airlines A330 aircraft parked in another gate nearby. Shortly afterwards, crew members go around preparing the cabin for departure. And as they do so, I can only wait and make the most of my time exploring what stuff I can find in my seat pocket. Yup, these are moments prior to our flight where it takes a while for the aircraft to get its clearance for pushback. Either you can grab a few minutes of sleep, or you can dig into the contents of your seat pockets. First thing I find is a headphone sealed in plastic. Now, not all airlines offer comfortable headsets like this, and instead provide the traditional wired earphones that you plug into your ears. Next I find is a plastic packet which contains all the printed entertainment materials, which also include this aircraft's easy-to-follow safety card. And among other items found in this plastic packet is, you guessed it, an air sickness bag. Following it is Air Mauritius' duty-free catalog called Island Boutique, featuring products sold on board ranging from fragrances, cosmetics, liquor, gifts, and accessories. What's also nice about this is that you can pre-order some duty-free items before your flight. Doors were soon closed, and our plane is eventually pushed back away from the gate. And as our departure begins, some passengers just can't resist being glued to this airline's latest generation of in-flight entertainment system that even young passengers couldn't wait to try them once movies, music, and games resume after takeoff. For me, I simply like being in my seat even if it's in economy. I find it comfortable, having a width of 17 inches and a 6-inch recline that's rarely offered in other economy class seats in other airlines. This Recaro seat is simply tailor-made for a relaxing experience for coach passengers, especially on long-haul flights. Our aircraft finally rolls out along the taxiway, and once we got into position, we were eventually cleared for takeoff and soon accelerating on the runway. We were up in the air before we knew it, and on our way to Singapore on this short international flight that goes for about an hour and 20 minutes. And while seatbelt signs on, I thought of browsing through my IFE to check if they have something else other than music, games, and movies. And browsing through the menu, I discovered that this plane has external cameras with angles you can choose from to get a forward view, as well as view down below. But what really gets me interested are the 3D maps that show our aircraft's position and heading, as well as the time remaining till we get to our destination. Upon reaching cruising altitude, crew members begin serving snacks, and to serve everyone quick on this very short flight, snacks came in the form of juice drinks in Tetra Paks and wrap sandwiches. For a short flight that costs about $50 per way, it's amazing they still give out treats like this, rather than selling it to passengers. With a neat new cabin plus this, I can say I'm already impressed with the service. This A330 NEO features brand new extended wings with noticeable composite sharklets. And with Rolls-Royce Trent 7000 engines housed in new composite nacelles, I can enjoy my snack in an even more quiet cabin with less engine noise. I found out that Kuala Lumpur to Singapore and vice versa happens to be one of the world's busiest international routes and one of the world's shortest. And just before I finished my sandwich, our plane already started to descend, creating a bit of a bumpy ride as we passed through the clouds. Yup, the flight was just that quick. It's not the sunny skies that I expected as we landed in the afternoon in Singapore, but despite the damp weather, it was still good to be back here again to what's also known as Asia's Lion City. Seated close to business class, this time I was just eager to disembark so I can explore around the airport. And before I do so, I just had to tap the plane as I exit and make my way to the aero bridge, enjoying the sight of the A330 NEO's flight deck window with its signature raccoon mask as I walk towards the terminal. I then make my way to immigration and baggage claim, treading on moving travelators, passing by shops, and spotting groups of crew members along the way. Once I got past immigration and into the baggage claim area, it was only a matter of time that I caught up with my luggage, where afterwards I head off to Singapore Changi Airport's attraction Jewel, a nature-themed entertainment and retail complex that also houses the world's tallest indoor waterfall. It's there where I had my late lunch of steak sandwich and Vietnamese noodle soup, as I wasn't able to fill my tummy with a full meal during my short flight. There's simply lots of restaurants in Jewel, but I just opted for this one to my heart's delight. In the evening, the agenda was dining out on local flavors at Singapore's Chinatown, accompanied by subscriber Leonard. Okay, I admit, I sure miss flying to different destinations, trying out local cuisines and seeing good friends. I just hope to be flying again soon once travel restrictions are lifted. For Airline Travel and Airports, this is Mitch Young. Thank you very much for watching.